Hi friends, it's Alyssa. I am here with another reading for you today. I hope everybody has been doing well and that you had a lovely Christmas, Yule, Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate this time of year. It's hard to believe that we only have a couple days left of 2024. And I don't know about you guys, but I am so ready for the new year. I am so ready to say goodbye to 2024 and see what the new year has in store for us. And so, that being said, for today's reading, we are asking the question, what is something that you need to hear right now? A message for you from Spirit that you're ready to hear that is going to serve you moving forward into the new year. So I've got 3 oracle cards in front of me here. These are all from the Work Your Light Oracle. Card number 1 is Anna, Grandmother of Jesus, Seeding the Light, Laying Foundations, Divine Plan. Card number 2 is Minticon, Longing for Home, Belonging, the Original Lightworkers. And card number 3 is Take a Break, A Life's Work, Not a Season, Get Off the Treadmill. So those are your options for today. The timestamps for each group will be in the description. As always, you can also find a link to my Etsy store down there if you're interested in getting a private reading with me. Also, you can become a channel member. The link to that will be in the description as well. We have custom stickers. We have early access to new videos. We also have exclusive members only videos every month, which I just recorded the video for December and I will have that up in the next couple of days. Also, my level 3 members get discounted personal readings with me. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please check that out. So I don't think there was anything else I wanted to say before we started. So let's get right into this with group number 1. All right, group 1. Before I pull any more cards for you, I want to read to you really quickly the description of this card. So, Anna represents the quiet dedication that is sometimes required to live a life of service. She represents the generations that came before that devoted their lives to dreaming a new world into being while knowing that they would not see the glorious end result. She represents the dutiful soldier, the unconditional mother, and the mystic who can see the thread that is woven through all of life. Anna teaches us that we all have a part to play in the divine plan. It doesn't have to be on the world stage to be significant. One person's part is not worthier than another. One person's part may be to mother their children. Another's may be to gather women in circle each month. No part is better or worse, more important or less significant. We each have within us a seed of light that we incarnated to share. Anna is gathering us to remember and surrender to our part of the plan. So that is your oracle card, group 1. And I think for your tarot, I'm going to be using the White Newman Tarot. So let's see what other cards want to come out for you guys. What is something that group 1 is ready to hear? What's something that they need to hear right now? We have the Page of Pentacles. Ooh, we have the Hanged Man. We also have the 10 of Cups here. What's a message that group 1 needs to hear right now? Oh gosh, we've got the 8 of Cups, the 3 of Swords, we have the Page of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and on the bottom of your deck, group 1, we have the 8 of Wands. So, starting with the 8 of Wands on the bottom of your deck, this is sort of like the overall theme or energy of your spread. The 8 of Wands in general is a very action-oriented card. It very much talks about movement and change. It can also represent like communication, a message coming through, good news coming your way. This is generally a pretty positive energy, and it also can be indicative of like passion or enthusiasm, excitement. you know, something happening or something changing that brings you a sense of excitement, or something that you feel really passionately about. The Page of Pentacles is really like something, some kind of seed that has been planted. That's often how I see this card, because pages, generally speaking, are really about like things that are in their early stages, or things that are just, you know, some kind of new, fresh energy, right? And pentacles are earth energy. These cards really talk about like the more material, tangible aspects of our lives. And, you know, having that very earthy energy, like I said, I often see this representing like a seed, something that's been planted, something that is just starting out, that's just beginning to grow, that has the potential to become so much bigger, so much more substantial. The Hanged Man, this is surrender. This is stagnation. Sometimes this can represent delays. It can represent having to wait, a waiting period, or a need for patience. But also this card can talk about like changing perspectives, looking at something from a new point of view. And like I said, there is this aspect of surrender to this card, a little bit similar to this oracle card that we just discussed. You know, surrender to the divine plan, surrender to the greater forces that are at work around us. The Ten of Cups here is a card of like emotional fulfillment. This can represent wish fulfillment as well. Very strong emotional bonds between people, like unconditional love, happiness, contentment, that kind of thing. A happy home, happy family, just very profound, very loving relationships between individuals. That's often, you know, what this Ten of Cups kind of signifies. And then we have here the Eight of Cups. This is more of a sad kind of energy. This often represents having to walk away from something, having to leave a situation behind, not because you want to per se, but because it might be necessary for some reason. We also have the Three of Swords here, which is another pretty heavy energy. This is grief, loss, betrayal sometimes. The Page of Swords, you know, like the Page of Pentacles, again, this is something starting out, or this is something that's not super well developed yet. The Page of Swords I often see as like representing some kind of truth or some communication. You know, pages are also messengers, and swords just in general have this really strong connection to communication and clarity and openness and that sort of thing. And then the Queen of Swords, more of that kind of cutting swords energy, right? These cards are very much about like logic and reason, and so the Queen of Swords can be kind of emotionally detached. She can be a little bit cold or even harsh at times. But she's also just like a very focused kind of individual. She's very determined. She knows what's important to her. She knows what really matters, and she's very focused on doing the things that she needs to do. So all of that being said, group one, what I'm getting here is that there definitely is something pertaining to a very necessary change coming into your life, or coming about for you. I get the impression that maybe right now, or at least in the recent past, you have been feeling kind of stuck, kind of like maybe you've been feeling unsure about how to move forward with your life, or there's something that happened, or something that something that happened that maybe made you question if you were on the right path. Does that make sense? It almost feels as though some of you have come to a realization, or you are in the process of coming to this realization, that what you've been pursuing or what you've been doing in your life maybe isn't really meant for you after all, or maybe whatever it is that you've been doing has kind of run its course, and maybe it's time to like move on to the next thing. And this could be applicable like in a lot of different ways. You know, this could be talking about a relationship, like a very, you know, long-term relationship, a very significant relationship in your life that has maybe started to run its course. This could be related to your career path. You know, there's a lot of different ways that this could apply to you. So, you know, take it how it resonates for you. And anything else, you know, leave behind, as they say. But yeah, it just seems as though you're kind of reaching a point, group one, where you are recognizing that something has to change. There is something that you need to release, or you've just come to this conclusion that something you've been working towards or something you've put a lot of your energy into just isn't right for you anymore. It's just not the right place for you to be. It's maybe not the right person for you to be around, or you know, it's not something you feel passionate about anymore, whatever the case may be. And I do sense that there's a lot of like sadness for some of you surrounding this situation. It's not that you, like I said, with the Eight of Cups, it seems like for some of you, it's not that you really want to walk away from this person or this thing or this situation, but you're feeling like you have to. You're feeling like it is necessary. You don't really have a choice here. If you want to be happy moving forward, if you want to feel like you're fulfilling your life's purpose, it's necessary that you do this thing. Does that make sense? And like I said, there does seem to be sadness. There does seem to be some grief here surrounding this loss, because it feels like for a lot of you, this is a loss, even though it is something that has maybe proven to be not right for you, or it's something that, you know, it's become clear that it's time for you to move on from. There is still going to be some grief there. There is still going to be some sadness, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's like it is still a loss. And that's okay. It's okay to feel sad about that, and it's okay to grieve whatever this is that you're moving away from, whether it is a relationship or a career path, or, you know, whatever this thing is that we're talking about here for you. But, you know, despite that grief, despite that sadness, it feels like you do, at the same time, you're aware that in order for you to feel fulfilled and content in the long run, moving forward, you know, this is a necessary step for you to take. You are surrendering, or you are being asked to surrender to this change, to this forward movement. This new beginning that Spirit is asking you to embrace, okay? It's just like, you know that whatever it is you've been doing, like, this is not it for you. This is not your purpose. This is not what you're meant to be doing. It's not fulfilling you like you maybe once thought that it would. And you're understanding now that your purpose, your satisfaction lies elsewhere. You know, your calling lies elsewhere. And that's really, I feel, what this kind of boils down to, group one. That's the message that you're ready to hear. That's the message you need to hear right now, is that you are being called to your life's purpose, whatever that may be. And, you know, like we said when we read the description of this card, your life's purpose doesn't necessarily have to be something big and extravagant. It doesn't have to be something that, you know, is going to be world changing. Sometimes our life purpose is just to, you know, help the people that are immediately around us, you know, in our local communities, or it could be to help raise up the next generation of, you know, compassionate and mindful individuals. Something that I have always said is that if you change the life of even just one person, or if you affect the life of just one person in a positive way, that does affect everything. That is your impact on the world, because everything we do has a ripple effect. So if you know, if you change the life of just one person, and then that person does something for someone else, and that person does something for someone else, and so on and so forth, you know, that ripple effect could be absolutely enormous. Do you know what I'm saying? And it all started with something that you did. It started with you. That is how we create meaningful change in the world. It starts on the individual level, right? I want to grab for you guys a card from the Rebel Oracle deck. I have been using this deck quite a bit recently. It is, well, it's the Oracle with attitude for a reason. But I find that a lot of times the advice it gives is very practical, and it is very helpful, even though it does roast me sometimes. So let's see. What is something Group 1 needs to hear? Oh. Okay. Figure shit out on your own. Interesting. And this side doesn't even say anything. Huh. So what this tells me, Group 1, is that you already know what you need to do. Like, this is not a situation where you are feeling completely lost. I feel like you know what steps you need to take next. You might be in denial about it, or you might be trying to put it off, but at the end of the day, it seems like you know what needs to be done. All right, Group 1? I feel like, especially as we are entering into the new year, it's going to be really important for you guys to stop putting this off. You know, don't procrastinate any longer. Don't let it be delayed any longer. You know, the changes that you're feeling called to make, just do it. You know, just rip off the Band-Aid and just do it. I feel like once you do, it's going to be an enormous weight off your shoulders, and you're going to feel so much better. And only then will you really be able to like fulfill your purpose and feel, you know, and feel this contentment and this wholeness. That's the word that comes to mind here. The wholeness that you have been kind of craving or longing for. Does that make sense? So Group 1, I think I'm going to leave that there. Those are really all the messages that I am getting for you right now. I hope this is helpful. I hope this gives you some insight into things and that it resonated with you. Take what applies to you, leave the rest behind. This is just a general reading at the end of the day, but I hope you enjoyed, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope I see you next time. Bye! All right, if you chose Group 2, Minticon, let's find out what it is you need to hear right now. So I'm going to start by just reading to you the description for this card. Minticons are a soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original light workers. Many Minticons have an odd longing for home and struggle with feeling like they don't belong. It is thought that this is due to their home planet no longer being in existence. If you pulled this card, it could mean that you are longing for a sense of belonging, and root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel secure and safe. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where that is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on Earth to call your own. If so, you are being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now, to choose where you feel most at home and create it rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. Interesting, group 2. So, I'm going to pull some cards for you from the White Newman Tarot. What is a message that group 2 needs to hear right now? What does group 2 need to hear right now? We have the Three of Cups. This is interesting with this Oracle card because that's too many cards. Sorry. The Three of Cups can talk about belonging. It talks a lot about friendship and unity and togetherness. We have the Page of Pentacles here. The Page of Pentacles is something new, something that's in its early stages, some kind of seed that has been planted that has the potential to grow into something much more substantial. We've got the Queen of Cups. This is unconditional love. This is compassion. This is nurturing. Oh gosh. The Knight of Cups. A lot of watery cups energy here. Even with this Oracle card, we've got a lot of water like on the card. So like emotionally, group 2, this could be a significant time for you, or maybe you've been feeling a lot of different emotions recently. The Knight of Cups often represents some kind of progression, like in a relationship, or it can represent people opening up about their feelings, expressing their emotions to one another. What does group 2 need to hear? We have the Five of Swords. This is defeat, disappointment, unfulfilled expectations. We've got the High Priestess, more water here on this card as well. The High Priestess is really about like seeking wisdom, clarity. She's a very spiritual, very wise, kind of mysterious figure as well. And you know, this card is very much about like discovery, you know, the unknown being made clear. We also have here the Seven of Wands. This is often like having to stand up for yourself or defend yourself in some way, having to like face adversity. And we also have here the Seven of Cups. So again, more cups, more water energy. This card can be about like confusion or illusions. It shows up a lot in situations where somebody has a lot of different options available to them and they might be feeling unsure about, you know, what they should do, which path they should take. And actually, I want to put this over here. And on the bottom of your deck, we've got the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is about memories, nostalgia, the past. It can represent something from your past returning to you, or it can talk about going back to something from your past. So this is really interesting because this ties in a lot, I feel, with the message of the Oracle card. You know, that sense of longing, that, you know, missing something from your past, and especially, you know, that idea of home, because the Six of Cups can also talk about like childhood, you know, your youth, your innocence, that sort of thing. So group 2, it seems to me like something is really going on here with regards to your sense of belonging, you know, where you are now in the world. I get the impression that emotionally, you have perhaps been feeling very just kind of unanchored, it seems like. Very all over the place, very confused maybe even, about where you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to be doing or who you're supposed to be with, okay? And it does seem like you guys have been feeling really unsettled just in general. You know, there is this sense of yearning for comfort, this yearning for stability, this yearning to belong for some of you, but also just to, what's the word I'm looking for? To feel safe, maybe. It seems like some of you who chose this group are feeling ready to like put down your roots. And that could mean a lot of different things. You know, this could be in relation more to your career, or it could be more about like your family, starting a family, you know, your relationships, or even, you know, more literally kind of like the description for the oracle card was talking about. It could even more literally just be talking about, you know, you finding a place where you actually just feel like you fit in, where you just feel comfortable, and creating a home there. So group 2, I get the impression that a lot of you have really desperately tried to create, you know, this home or this stability, this, you know, this feeling that you've been looking for, that you've been trying to create for yourself, or maybe recreate for yourself. You've been it's like you've been looking for home in a lot of different places, in a lot of different people, in a lot of different situations, and you've just like every time things have just come up short. You know, you've always ended up disappointed, or you've always end up just feeling unfulfilled. Like it's just never quite turned out to be what you really wanted or what you really expected. Does that make sense? And it's like you've been fighting to find what you're looking for and struggling. It's like some of you have been struggling to really pinpoint exactly where it is, or what it is that you feel is missing. Some of you maybe are in relationships right now where you have been really trying to, you know, convince yourself that like this is your person, you know, this is who you're gonna build your life with, or this is who you have built your life with, but it just doesn't feel, something doesn't feel right. It feels like something is still missing. Or, you know, if this is more about your career path, or your, you know, just your living situation in general, whatever it is, it's like you've tried to make things work. You've tried to create this sense of home, this comfort, this stability, but it's like every time it just comes up short. Every time it always feels like there's something missing. And I feel like what they're saying here is that it's like you may never find the fulfillment and the comfort that you're looking for from external sources. You may never truly find that from other people or from your, you know, circumstances. It's like it's like that sense of home, that sense of belonging, that sense of satisfaction that you are searching for. In the end, it's like it has to come from within yourself. It's something that you have to create for yourself. And I think that may be why we have so much water energy here, so much of this emotional energy, because it's like something that you've got to find, you've got to draw from that well that is within yourself. And I think for a lot of you, this is going to ultimately come from, you know, you getting more in tune with like the spiritual side of yourself, or just, you know, doing things that make you feel content, that make you feel, you know, like that give you a sense of purpose. this actually reminds me a little bit of something that I just experienced last night. Um, this is kind of silly, but I was watching some like YouTube videos from this person that I watched like 10 plus years ago, like back when I was in college. And it was very nostalgic for me, and I was like reliving all of these memories from that time, and I was thinking like, gosh, kind of wish I could go back to that time, because, you know, looking back, everything was so much simpler. Everything felt cozy and safe and all of this, and then I realized, like, you know, that's not something I can ever go back to. But if I want that feeling again, I have to figure out how to create that for myself, because you can never go back to the way things once were. Even if you completely recreated that environment, it's not going to feel the same, right? Because you're looking back on it, you're remembering the best moments of that time. In reality, that period of my life was no less challenging than, you know, the life I'm living right now. It was just, you know, in different ways. But anyway, my point is, I kind of said to myself, you know, if I want to lay in bed and eat snacks and watch YouTube videos about hair dye and piercings and body mods like I used to do back then, and just feel totally cozy and safe and comfortable, you know, I can do that. Like, I can create that environment here now for myself. I don't have to go back to my old college campus. I don't have to have that same glorious comforter that I used to have on my bed in my dorm room. I can't ever go back to that time, to that place, to that experience, but I can draw upon the experience, and I can create a similar one here and now with what I currently have. Do you follow me? Do you know what I'm saying? So if you are someone who has jumped around from, you know, job to job, or relationship to relationship, or even idea to idea, you know, looking for something that fills that void, and you just can't seem to find it, then it may be time to stop looking in those outside sources. Stop looking for it in other people. Stop looking for it in external situations. Do you know what I mean? What you're missing, what you're longing for, is something that can be found within yourself. So that's the message that you need to hear right now. You need to be looking for that within yourself. I'm gonna grab for you guys a card from the Rebel Oracle deck as well, and just get a little bit of, just see if there's anything they want to add, and maybe a little bit of additional advice for you guys. What? Okay. Oh, interesting. Whatever you're thinking about, don't do it. Now is not the time. Yeah, I mean, if you have been thinking about, you know, moving again, or looking for a new job or a new partner, or pursuing a different idea, the Spirit is saying, just hold off. Just give it some more time, okay? This doesn't mean that you have to stick where you are, or stay where you are forever. It doesn't mean you have to stick with this thing or this person or this idea for the rest of your life. But Spirit is saying, like, you've got to give this thing some more time. You have to commit to something. whatever you're currently involved with, whatever you're currently doing, whatever path you are on right now, Spirit is saying you can make it work. It can work for you. If you put the work into it and if you stick with it. You don't need to revamp your life in order to scratch that itch that you have. You can draw from within yourself to fill that space. Okay, group 2. So I think I'm going to leave that there. Those are really all the messages that I'm getting for you guys right now. I hope this made sense and I hope that this resonated with you. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate it. And I hope I see you next time. Bye. And finally, if you chose group 3, take a break. Let's find out what you need to hear right now. So before we get started with your tarot, I want to just read to you the description of this card really quickly. It's okay to take a break and enjoy your creations, to take a moment from your busy schedule, to get off the treadmill of life, to appreciate and acknowledge all that you have created, achieved, released, or experienced before rushing on to the next thing. To be in the moment and enjoy where you are, to take a breath and regather your mind, body, and spirit, to recalibrate, appreciate, and celebrate, to decide on what you really want to experience next. If you take a moment, you are not going to miss out. Perhaps you've just completed a big project, manifested something significant in your life, released an old way of being, or just been burning the candle at both ends. Now is the time to take some time out before rushing on to the next thing. You did it. Enjoy yourself and recalibrate. Go on vacation, book a massage, take long walks in nature, go away for a rejuvenating weekend to recharge and replenish. So, group 3, that is your oracle card. Now, I'm going to pull some cards from the White Newman Tarot for you guys and see what they would like to add. What is a message that group 3 needs to hear right now? We've got the 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles is all about hard work. So, you know, coupled with what we just saw with this oracle card, group 3, it looks like a lot of you have been very busy. You have been putting a lot of effort into, you know, some project, some goal that you've been trying to achieve. You've been very busy and you've just been really working hard, it seems like. What does group 3, oops, that's too many cards. What does group 3 need to hear? You've got the World. This is wholeness and completion, wish fulfillment, or, you know, success, the achievement of a goal. So more of that same sort of energy that we just talked about. We've got the 3 of Swords here as well. This is grief. This is loss. It can also represent betrayal. Very sad, heavy energy. We have the King of Wands here. The King of Wands is a very passionate, very vibrant leader. He is fire energy, right? So he's very enthusiastic, very generally optimistic, and he is really like focused. He's very determined. He's very ambitious when it comes to, you know, getting what he wants, doing what he wants. Let's see. It's a few too many cards. I like to take just one at a time. What does group 3 need to hear? We've got strength, overcoming adversity, overcoming obstacles. This is courage. This is bravery. This is also perseverance. We have the Queen of Swords. Another very focused, very determined kind of figure with the Queen of Swords. She also tends to be pretty, like, pretty emotionally detached a lot of times. She can even come across as kind of cold or harsh. But she's very much just like a no-nonsense kind of individual. She knows what she wants. She's gonna get it. She is not gonna be distracted by anything. She's very much about logic and reason, and clarity. Let me get one more card for you guys, group 3. Oh, gosh. Okay, we have got 2 here. So we have the 5 of Wands. This is conflict. This is opposition, people being at odds with one another. We also have the 3 of Wands, which talks about future planning, kind of like looking out into the unknown, broadening your horizons, figuring out what your next steps are going to be. This is also a card of like limitless potential. Anything is possible. And on the bottom of your deck, group 3, we have the Tower. Interesting. So the Tower is usually some kind of crisis, some sudden upheaval, something that really shakes you to your core and leaves you, you know, picking up the pieces. Group 3, I feel like, well, first of all, it seems pretty clear that many of you who chose this group are very ambitious individuals. You're very focused, you're very determined on your goals and being successful in life. And I feel like a lot of you are and have been very successful. You've accomplished a lot of things that you have set out to do because you work hard and you're persistent. However, I also feel like there has been a lot of difficulty at the same time, you know, with getting where you want to be or getting what you want. There've maybe been a lot of obstacles that have gotten in your way, or there have been some, I want to say maybe some losses. Maybe you have had to burn some bridges to get where you to get where you are. Or you've just found that certain relationships, you know, certain people in your life you were no longer really compatible with for whatever reason. Or, you know, there was just some grief surrounding like having to move on or let go of, you know, a situation that you were in. It's kind of like, you know, as an example, wanting to further your career, you know, you may get a new opportunity that is exactly what you're looking for, but at the same time, it could be kind of sad. It could be difficult to leave your old job behind, right? That sort of thing. So a lot of success for you guys, but also definitely some trials and some hardships. I feel like what this message really boils down to, you guys, for group 3 is that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to slow down. All right. Because I feel like for a lot of you, especially like in the recent past here, it seems like things have just been like it's just been one thing after another. Like you have been doing one thing after another, and it's like been almost nonstop for you guys. And even when the changes are good, it can still feel really disruptive. It can still feel scary even, or intimidating to, you know, have all of these changes happening and have all of this progress being made. Because like I said, it feels like you've left a lot of things behind, group 3. And that's not always easy. Even if you are moving in a better direction, even if you are welcoming in something better, it's not always easy to leave the old stuff behind. For some of you, I even feel as though the changes that you've gone through recently maybe weren't even initiated by you. Maybe you did truly experience like a Tower moment where something just totally unexpected happened that forced you to, you know, to end a relationship, or to change careers or change jobs, or, you know, move to a new place or something like that. So, you know, the changes that you've undergone, like I said, maybe weren't even initiated by you, but even still, it seems like you've done a really excellent job of adapting, and you've worked really hard to make the most out of what you've been dealt. And you've been very successful in, you know, adapting and moving forward, even if it was something terrible that happened, or totally unexpected that took you off guard. But what they're saying here is that, you know, it's okay to slow down now. You can take a break. You can rest for a while. I feel like group 3, there is a lot of good things on the horizon still for you. I feel like there is still, you know, a lot of potential for you to continue moving forward and to continue being successful, and to find even more of the things that you want, and achieve even more of the things that you want to achieve. You're capable of overcoming anything. Like, really, you are powerful, group 3. You are people that I wouldn't really want to mess with, because you've got this Queen of Swords energy here. You've got this King of Wands. You've got the Strength card, and even the World, right? Like, all of these cards are showing me somebody who is resilient, so resilient, like a weed growing through the cracks of a sidewalk. You do not give up, and that is an excellent quality to have, but it can have its downsides too. And these cards are saying, look, you've got to rest so that you don't completely burn yourself out. You've made so much good progress, and even if you're not quite yet where you want to be, it's okay. You know, you don't have to push yourself to exhaustion. I'm gonna grab a card from the Rebel Oracle for you guys as well, just to see if there's anything they want to add, or if they have any additional advice for you guys. What does group 3 need to hear, or what are they ready to hear right now? Okay, it says, don't talk to anyone, don't look at anyone. And on the other side, it says you need some time alone and you know why. So this definitely ties in with what we've been talking about, I think. Yeah, it's time for you to rest, group 3. I do feel that probably a lot of you are continuing to push yourself because you haven't quite gotten, you know, exactly where you want to be. You haven't quite yet reached your end goal. And you don't want to become complacent. You don't want to get too comfortable where you are now. But I feel like at the same time, group 3, if you keep pushing yourself, then you may get burnt out. You might overwhelm yourself. And that is, you know, if that happens, that's going to be just as detrimental as if you were to become complacent. And also, I feel like you're being asked to take some time to just kind of reflect, maybe go into hermit mode a little bit. I know we don't have the hermit card here, but that's sort of the impression that I get, that you are, you know, they're suggesting that you take some time out to just kind of contemplate and maybe reevaluate things for yourself, because for some of you, I get the sense that you may, like your decisions that you've been making might be somewhat informed by like grief or pain, or, you know, something difficult that you experienced, and so you might need to just reevaluate a little bit, if the things you've been working toward are what you really want, or if the things you've been doing are what you truly want, or if they are, like I said, informed by or a consequence of something you've been through, something you've experienced, or something like that. Are you doing these things? Are you pursuing these things? Are you moving in this direction because it's genuinely what you want to do and you're clear about that? Or is it because you're still reeling from something else that happened to you, and, you know, this was just the direction that you found yourself catapulted in? Do you know what I mean? So group 3, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Fairly straightforward message here, and, you know, nothing super life-changing necessarily, but yeah, they're asking you to please rest, and please make sure, just make sure that what you're doing is what you really want. So I think I'm going to leave that there, you guys. I really hope this was helpful. I hope that this reading resonated with you. Thank you so much for joining me today, Group 3. I really appreciate it, and I hope I see you guys next time. Bye!